In this video, we're going to create a function that allows the enemy character to aim to the player. And as the player gets too close to the enemy is going to chase the player. Alright, now we're going to go to the scenes folder here. And this is the first scene we have created, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to select this whole FPS folder and Command-C copy, and then go to the second scene. And we're going to select the object we have built, which is the the center of this stage. And we'll copy and paste our character here, and we can parent into one of the object and zero out the value, so it will bring our first person controller here back here. Okay, and then we're going to move it out and bring it on the stage. Okay, and maybe now you aim to that direction, so we can change this to 0, so it'll aim to that direction. And for this cube that we have used for skill references earlier, now we can just hide it. And also make sure you don't have the main camera in the scene. Here I just put the main camera inside of the cube, so I hide it together. Okay, and these are the barrels. So here I'm going to rename it barrel 1 and barrel 2. Okay, and then I'm going to select all of these assets, and I'm going to put them in a folder. Okay, so here I'm going to select the barrel, put F key for focus my view on it, and create an empty object. And here I'm going to say environment, and I'll select all of these environment assets inside of this folder. Okay, alright, and then we're going to drop in our enemy character. So we're going to go to the models, then we'll go to the lesson 3 assets, and we're going to go to the model, and we'll drop in our monster character. Okay, and fix the texture issue. And so for this character, here I have its animation preview. So basically, we have the walk to different direction animation, jump, attack, and idle animation, and also the die animation. And here are the textures. And also, I have put the keyframe range at here for reference. So later on in Unity, when we set the animation clips, we're going to reference the frame ranges. Okay, so here we're going to go to the monster folder. Okay, and here's the character, so we can drop it in here. Okay, so here I think I may need the cube to reference the skill. So let's see. For this monster character, so let's try 3, 3, 3. Okay, that's too tall, so maybe just about 1.7. Yeah, that's the similar height as the cube. Okay, and here we're going to rotate in 180 degrees, so it's facing this side. And also we're going to create a material for it. So here we're going to say create a material monster A, body M, or we can just see M for material and then body. Okay, and for this material I'm going to drop the body texture to here and body normal map to here. Okay, and then if I get closer to the character, as I apply this material to the character, as you can see, we get more details, right, than the default material. I think also we need to get it to the eyeball and eyelash. And then for the shirt, so here we're going to create another material and see dress. And for the dress, here I'm going to drop the dress texture here and normal map here, and then bring it onto my character's dress. Okay, so here's the texture for the character. And then I'm going to select this character and click on this button. So this is the animation. Okay, so you can also go to the tab here, animation tab. Okay, so this is animation. However, it contains the whole range, which is right from frame 1 to frame 960. So we need to define the specific range. So first we want to, let me just open this one. So first let's get the idle animation. So the idle animation 390 to 788. So we're going to create a new clip, and here we'll see idle. Make sure the first letter is caps lock. Okay, so I'll explain it later. Idle 390 to 788. Okay, and for the idle animation, I want it to loop, so I checked on loop. Okay, and apply. And as you apply, you can see that under the character model, we have this animation clip. Right, here is it. Then here we're going to create a walk animation, so that's a frame 10 to 37. Okay. First letter caps lock and clap range, frame 10 to frame 37. And for the walk, we also want it to loop and apply. And you will see it. Oops, I forgot to rename the name. So here I'll say walk, hit the return key so to confirm the change, and then apply. So make sure it's from frame 10 to 37. And then you should see the animation clip is here, also is here. The reason why the name convention is important is because here, for example, for the script, when we wake the zombie, as you can see, we are referencing the animation clips we have created. So this is the exact word we use for the animation clips. Here's the idle animation. So if the name is different, even though if just the caps lock is different, it cannot find the animation clips we have created. Alright, so make sure the name convention is exactly the same as what I wrote here, and then you use my script and you're going to work. Okay, this is idle and walk, and then we're going to create an animation controller for the character. So here we're going to create an animation controller, and we're going to see monster A enemy, which is animation. Okay, double click on open, and here's the default stage. We don't need the exit stage, but I just place it in a frame. Alright, and then we're going to go to the model, and I'll drop in the idle. So the idle will be set as the default stage. So by default, when the character is awake, you're going to play the idle animation and loop the idle animation. And then we're going to drop in the walk. So just to play it on the side, we will not connect it. And once the script is on call, okay, as you can see, once the script is on call, and it's going to play the walk animation. Okay, so here we're going to go back to the scene. So here I'm going to select our character, and then I'm going to add a navigation mesh agent, so that will allow our character to navigate along the mesh, so you can read where's the object, and where's the flat area, and where's the mountains. Okay, here stop distance I'm going to put about 3. Okay, and then I'm going to select the environment, which includes the terrain and also all the models. And I'll go to Window and go to AI and go to Navigation. And here in the navigation, I'm going to go to the Bake. Okay, and keep the settings as default. And as you bake, you're going to bake all the environment, and then the AI, and then the character, the AI, will know where's the objects and where's the mountain and flatten area. Once you're finished, it should look similar like this, right? So you're gonna have the mesh based on our environment, and then we can select the monster character. Actually, we are done with this, so we can just uncheck it. Go back to inspector. Okay, and select our monster character, and then here we're going to add a script. So add component. Forgot to import it. So here I'm going to go to the script folder. Okay, and we're going to drop in the zombie stare at you script. Okay, and then we're going to apply this script on our character. So add component, zombie stare at you, and here we need to define which is the player, which object you want the zombie character to look at. Okay, and make sure save your project, and then let's test our play. For some reason, it prevent me to walk in the scene, and also it has a error message. So that's typically because Unity stopped working, and I'll just quit the program and reload it. And as you can see, whatever direction I walk, the character will keep looking at me, right? And if you open the zombie stare at you script in Visual Studio, so this is the structure. So any of the text that with the two slashes, these are my loads, so these are not part of the script. So in the beginning, we will assign the player at here, and it will get the transform channel of the player, which is the position and the rotations. Okay, and as the game begins, we'll make it our character's transform axis aim to the player's position, so that way it'll keep looking at our player. Then we'll drop in our enemy follow script, and we're going to select our enemy character. Okay, select it, and then go to the add component, and here we're going to add the script, the enemy follow script we just dropped in. And for the enemy, we're going to assign itself to it. Okay, and for the target, we're going to assign the first person character to it. Okay, and save the script, and let's play. So now as you can see, as the game is awake, the character will keep chasing you. And also, as you can see, if I go to the hill, and it is walk along on these bumps, so that's because of the navigation mesh. Okay, it can read the mesh. And here's the enemy follow script. So in the beginning of the script, we declare two objects. The first object is the navigate mesh agent object, which is the enemy character. And for the enemy character, we have applied navigation mesh agent, so that is the object. And the second one will be a target object, and we're going to load its transform channels like the position and rotation. So as the game is on call, so what's going to happen is our enemy character, it will search for the target character's position, and you're going to aim the front axis to it. So basically you're going to aim to the target character. Okay, and then the enemy character is going to update its position, right? The transform and translate channel, which is the position channel. Okay, update its position that matches the target object's position. Therefore, you're going to chase our player, right? And here's the speed. So by default here, I set as a 6, and yeah, you see the character run very fast. Here, if I change it to 1, and if I save the script, and let's see how it works. And you'll see our character runs very, very slow, right? So that's to say, you can define the character, the enemy character's move speed at here. So here I will just recall it, reinstate it to 6. Okay, and if you want it to move faster, just increase this number. And make sure to save this script as you change it. Then here let's create a trigger. So in the beginning, our character will not chase our player. So once we enter that trigger, our enemy will be awake and it's going to follow our player. Okay, so we're going to select our monster character. Okay, and here you can go to the folder. So right click on the monster and go to a 3D object, and we're going to create a cube. So for this cube, I will say zombie awake trigger. Okay, and we can make it bigger and bring it up. So here I'm going to check off the mesh render, and also under the box collider I'm going to check on its trigger. And here let's drop in the zombie awake trigger script. So we're gonna select our zombie awake trigger that we created on the monster character, and then we're going to add a component and we're gonna add the script we just loaded. Okay, and here are the objects we declared in the script. So for the zombie, we're going to drag itself to it. Okay, for the zombie sound and zombie weapon, we're going to create objects later. And for this trigger, it will be this trigger itself. Because remember, in the previous lesson, when we trigger the door open and also the gun, we have to deactivate the trigger itself in order to prevent the trigger be activated more times. So here we only want the zombie to be activated once, right? To be awake once. So we will deactivate it. And so here let's import the sound. So sound effects. Here for the sound effects, we're going to get our zombie breathing sound effects 1, and we're going to drop it in here. Okay. And then we're going to select our monster character, and we're going to right click and create empty. And for this one, we're going to say zombie breathing sound. Okay. And then on this object, we're going to add a audio source. And for the audio source, which is the audio player, we're going to drop this audio clip onto it. Okay, and check off play on wake, and check on loop, because for the zombie breathing sound I wanted to repeat that sound, repeat playing that sound. Okay, and then I'm going to select our monster character once again, and I'm going to go to game object and 3D object. Oops, actually I want to go it from here. So right click on it, 3D object and the cube. So benefit of doing this is the cube will be created inside of this hierarchy, right? And we can move it up, and we can bring it forward and make it smaller, very, very small, something like this. Oops. In the center of the character and bring it forward. Okay, so for this cube, I'm gonna rename it as zombie weapon. So just imagine if your character has a sword on hand, and if we have the animation like attack, and this will be the weapon. So here, since we don't have the animation, we will not have the weapon for our character. We just use this cube as the weapon, right? And we will here we're going to keep the box collider on, but I want to check off the mesh render, and I'll add a component, and here I'm going to add a ring body. And for the ring body, let's check off use gravity. So what happened here is, with the box collider and with the ring body, so this weapon object, you will be collide with other objects. For example, it will be able to collide with our player, and then later on we're going to apply a script on our player. So once our player collided with this weapon object, our player will die. Okay, so that's the function. So let's select the zombie awake trigger, and then let's get the sound for it, and also get the weapon for it. Here is the zombie awake trigger script. So these are the 4 objects we just declared, right? And once we enter the trigger, which is the zombie awake trigger, and what will happen is it's going to grab our zombie character and it's going to get its component, which is enemy follow, and it's going to enable it true. Okay, because remember with this script, enemy follow script, if I select it, and with this script, our enemy character will chase our player, right? So in the beginning, we want to disable it, so our character will not chase our player. Okay, and when we enter the trigger, it's going to enable it. So now the zombie will follow our player. And the second is, for the zombie, it's going to get its component, animator, and it's going to play the walk animation clip. So you're going to go to here, you're going to switch from idle to walk as our zombie character start to chase our player. Okay, and then it will also play the zombie sound. Remember in the beginning, for the zombie breathing sound, we have checked off play on wake, so it will not play until we enter this trigger. And also you're going to check on the zombie weapon. Remember I said that we will be able to use the zombie weapon object to kill the player. So in the beginning we want to hide it as our zombie is not awake, so he will not show this weapon. Okay, once we enter the trigger, he will bring out the weapon. So here you're going to set the active as true, so you're going to activate it. However, in the beginning we want to deactivate this object. Okay, and also you're going to turn this trigger, which is the zombie awake trigger, off. So you turn it off, so we will not activate this trigger multiple times. Okay, so here for the monster character, remember in the script we have referenced this animation, however we didn't apply the animation here. So we're going to add a component, and we'll add a animation controller to here. So I'll go back to the model and go to the monster folder and select our monster character and go back here, animator, and I'll drop this animation controller to here, which is this one we have created earlier. Okay, so let's save the game and let's test play. So in the beginning, So in the beginning, as you can see, when I walk, the zombie character just playing the idle animation, and it is aiming to me, to the player. And if I entered, okay, it will play the breathing sound, and it will follow me, it will chase me. So here we have a bug, as you can see. As we're getting really close, our character went crazy, right? Because it is following our position, and as it come, at the same spot as the player, you're going to lay down on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select our monster A character. Okay, first I'm going to create a collider. Now you can see that we don't have any collider on our character. Okay, so here I'm going to add a component, and I'll add a box collider. And for this collider, let's get close. Okay, for this collider, by default, see it is under the ground. So I'm going to put my cursor at a Y channel, and then I click and drag towards the right side, so you're going to bring it out. So don't move it directly, because if you move it directly, you're going to move the whole thing. Okay, so bring it up, and then we can change the Y value. And here are the value I use for the box collider. So as you can see, this is box collider, right? So it matches the height of the character, and it covers the foot. And also here's the width, right? So for the width, I put 0.4, so it only covers the body. In the next video, we're going to create a function that allows the player to be able to kill the enemy character.